Midnight 30 show, the revival. This is episode 7. I'm JJ.
I'm Derek.
You might have to say it a little bit louder. AKA Romaine.
I know, just the intro. What's up, guys? Welcome back. If you missed last week's episode or the week
We didn't
before
clap at all.
If you missed last week's episodes, the link will be up here or in the description. And there's a playlist with every episode in chronological order, including the OG show. Don't watch those. But you can if you want. They're there. You have free will. But we're telling you don't.
Episode 7.
That one, yeah. Episode 6, little technical difficulties there. Definitely accidentally deleted the footage, but the audio is still there, so, you know.
It's not anyone's fault. Wait, I've totally forgot. We need to get the basket so we can write topics.
I remembered, I just didn't want to interrupt.
I remembered. I was just hoping we would just spout one off the top of our heads for this one.
Romaine, you got a topic?
I do. It's all over my Instagram story right now.
What's that?
We don't watch that, so.
Right. Mari does. He was going off in my DMs.
Wait.
Murray actually wanted me to train him.
Well, Mari wants to come on the podcast so he can debate what I was putting on my story.
What'd you put on your
A
story?
bunch of Muslim hate. Like, very anti get them out of our country stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and
I
he
don't
was
see
like,
any of that.
this is such an L take from this guy. This is such blah, blah, blah. Like, we don't even live in that great of a country. Why are we acting like we need to come together and fight this? Yeah, like, I was, like, on a rabbit hole this morning. This was the one he slid up on. He was like, L take. And my favorite part of it was, are you a white supremacist? No, I'm an American supremacist. And I was like, honestly, best response from that guy in this very specific scenario.
Okay.
But yeah.
Was he like just straight up like slamming you?
Not
What?
necessarily, because when I countered what he said and he countered that, I said some things that, I mean, because I'm not racist. I don't have an issue with people, no matter the color of their skin. I just have an issue with coming to a country that's not yours and trying to change it to be like yours when if you want it to be so much like yours, just go back. Just get out of here. Go back to your country.
Okay.
If it was so bad, why are you bringing it over here?
Sure. I totally forgot to. Can you turn on that light?
Everybody says, I forgot to hit record.
No. It's just a switch. Yep. Here you go.
We'll hope that's the right color.
Anyways.
But I don't know. I'm just super anti like coming over here and trying to change ways. So what is it? Michigan, that has a Muslim mayor, has all the street signs underneath it translated in whatever that language is, Islamic, Arabic, whatever the fuck it is, the cursive shit. And it's just like, why? If you can't read or speak
In
English,
Michigan, of all places.
yes. A historically very white and black dominated city. Like, was white for a long time, obviously, as a lot of cities were. Then at a certain point, it became a mix, and then it was a dominantly black city. Then it became half and half again, and it was kind of fluctuating between who was dominant in that city. Not that that matters, but like it was normal people, you know? It was just normal races kind of different timelines dominating. And now, what was it? I think it was Grok or whatever that AI is, did a statistic on if the next 1,000 babies were born like within a year. I think it was only 39% of them would be American, like white Americans or black Americans. The rest of that percentage would be Muslim or of Muslim descent, due to the population of Muslims in Michigan escalating. Michigan's like that. New York is about to have a Muslim mayor.
They do.
I didn't think he got elected yet. Oh. Well, I don't know if you've seen any of the videos of those protests and whatnot happening, but Times Square is getting overrun by a bunch of Muslim propaganda, which is going to happen. Guarantee you in the next year and a half, if you go to New York, it's not going to be like it was. It's not going to be... I don't know. There's a lot of things that I feel like people aren't realizing, and it's becoming less of a left and right, less of a black and white. It's more so a intrusion that we should be worried about versus who's voting for who.
And well, what's interesting is like it's not just America.
No, I mean Japan literally just had a anti-Muslim rally where they deported thousands of Muslims.
I actually just saw that Japan
New Zealand,
also,
Australia, Austria, England.
Yeah, Japan also just stood against putting up Islamic centered cemeteries. Yeah.
Dude, I don't know if it's people waking up to it and realizing, hey, let's catch it before it's too late. But the thing is,
I think with social media though, it can go from just a little spark to a bonfire to a wildfire real quick. So it may seem like a lot of people
would have an issue with a Muslim leader that's trying to push Muslim beliefs on a city that Muslims took two of the towers from. You would think that would kind of make them.
But the Muslims didn't. It was an inside job.
Right. We could talk about conspiracy theories and things that I question.
Well,
on a different topic, but like real history, however real you want to take it, the fact that you're having a Muslim mayor push Muslim ideologies on a city where y'all took out 2 towers and a terrorist
So what
attack.
ideologies has he been trying to push? 'Cause
Like his plan.
Google this right now.
His plan is essentially to bring all Muslim ideologies to New York.
I'm literally Googling this as we talk.
Well, one of the videos I posted on my story was
Okay. So here's just what the AI overview says. Free buses, making city's bus system fast and free. Instituting a freeze on rents for a significant portion on New Yorkers. I don't know how that's going to work, but okay. Building 200,000 rent-stabilized housing units. Sure. Opening new city-owned grocery stores.
I don't think AI is going to tell you.
Well, let's just see here. Universal health care for kids 6 weeks to 5 years old. Increasing the wages of child care workers. Okay. Increasing minimum wage to $30 per hour by 2030. Right. Interesting.
So this is all the stuff that he
and then here is
to get people's votes.
Getting into the foreign policy. Strong criticism of Israel and support for Palestinians.
Right. So all
mean?
Of those top things were what he publicly said to get the votes.
Mm-hmm.
And the other video, one of the other videos I posted on my story was this Muslim dude explaining why they go after the left-wing party. And it's because they can be easily manipulated and brainwashed into, oh, they're going to be doing all these amazing things to help all these lower income people. And then they push whatever they want because they're in power. That was a Muslim dude saying that.
Really?
In an interview.
Research this live. Because I don't know much about this. But I have heard a lot of fire coming from it.
Oh, that's another thing talking about all the Muslim, Palestinian, whatever shit. I do find it ironic that it's a large portion of the gay community and trans community and feminist community standing up for Muslim territories, Gaza, Palestine, this and that. When in reality, if any of those three groups went over there, they would be killed or tortured. But in America, they have the freedom of having that free will and free choice of being gay or trans or a feminist or whatever. Yeah, they get hate speech, but that's about it. You know, you're going to get hate speech wherever you go when people disagree, but in America, it's free to do that. You have the freedom to be something else, be whatever you want. But they hate America, and they're supporting these countries and ideologies that literally would murder them. I find that interesting too. But we're bringing that over. And we also, there's 2 other states that have Muslim candidates running for mayor. And then I watched another video of this white dude in Michigan getting told off by the mayor, basically saying,
I think I know what video you're referring to. It's like a white guy, and he was like talking about his home. He was like, "Listen, like
because they were trying to name this one street after Osama Zenduli or whatever his name was, and he was against that. And the mayor was like,
"I will hold a parade for the day you leave."
Yeah,
I saw that.
Yeah,
wild,
very fucked. There was also this other one. Oh man, there's so much, and a lot of it's propaganda. I mean, it's all propaganda, but it's like, I just don't understand it. It's, to me, more of an issue than...
Sorry. Continue. It's more of an issue than...
You're welcome to give input.
I really don't have any on this topic.
Okay.
I don't know enough to be passionate.
I feel like it's more of an issue, honestly, than like the Hispanic illegal immigrants. However, I only say that because they're not coming here trying to take over and run everything and make it theirs. They're just here illegally.
They just want to drink Corona and build freaking bridges, bro.
Except for the bad ones that slip in. But I feel like that's going to happen no matter what. Those bad ones are just taking advantage of it. Now, I think all illegal immigrants should either go through a legal process or get deported. But I think the Muslim issue is way bigger of an issue than illegal Hispanics.
I would have to do more research on that because I don't know enough. Like, I've seen the hot takes and the clips, the viral videos.
Of what, the Muslim stuff or
just
illegal
all
immigrants?
of it, really. But, I mean, I can't base any sort of opinion on that because I haven't done any actual research on my own.
I mean, I feel like history is enough research. When have we ever had good encounters with Muslims? I mean, they just prosecuted a bunch of Christians, like 600 Christians, for being Christian. And over there, I don't think prosecution is like something you walk away from. I think it's an issue. And I think people need to start waking up and realizing that when you let non-American people try to lead parts of your country, it's never going to work out. I think it'd be good to have people in government that are of other religions and countries of origin to have kind of different ideologies in the thinking pot, but running a country, no, it should be an American. It should be a natural born American.
Now I heard some stuff I want to disagree with.
I mean, the president has to be
The president.
a natural born American.
Right, but what I'm saying is,
You think like mayors and senators and
in
congressmen?
Natural American in the sense of not trying to bring another country's ideologies in, is what I mean. Like, not trying to change something completely to be
patriotic.
To be on this topic, how these different Muslim mayors are trying to bring in a bunch of Muslim values and ideologies and change a lot of things and whatnot. Whether they're doing the bad things people are saying they're doing or not, I don't think that's right. Take that to your country. Take that to that country. Do that in that country. Because guess what? If we went over there and somehow got a a position of power and we tried to do that, we'd be killed instantly.
May I interject? So, I agree with you on a few things where you are essentially, or on one thing really, where you're essentially alluding to not having someone of a different culture or country implement that culture or country's values into American government. In a sense, I agree with you, but I also disagree with you more than I agree with you, because when you think of what the essence of America is, it's supposed to be the land of the free, the land for all. And when you say like a naturally born American should do this or should do that, you're talking about a natural born American that's born into a country that's supposed to be free to practice religion, free to practice culture, free to practice whatever, freedom of speech, all those things intertwine to create this huge mixing pot of different cultures, different kinds of people. Like when you think of what American culture is, there's no definition, there's no refined definition of what that's supposed to look like, because you have such a huge mixing pot of different cultures and different people. Like we talk about like, white people and black people and Asians and all these, but everybody is from a different land with different cultures, different values, and whether they were born here or not, you still have a lot of those cultures and values that bleed through because of their ancestors that pass it down to their offspring.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
And to their offspring. But then your argument is that it should be an American that, exudes American values. The thing is, if you're talking about Americans exuding American values in these positions of power, you're talking about everybody. So the Muslims, the Jewish, the Christians.
Right, but governments shouldn't have anything to do with religion. They shouldn't have anything to do with those values or cultures. They should be leading a country.
I agree with you on that period, but that wasn't your argument. Your argument was that they're implementing cultures and rhetoric from other countries, and you're saying that they should take that back to those countries. Well, if that's the central argument, then Americans, then I could just as easily say that white people should take whatever white contributions they contribute to the country back to wherever they came from. I could say the same thing about black people. They should take their black influence and contributions to the country back to wherever they came from. Same thing for the Asians.
No, because
it's the same thing.
They're Americans, and it's grown
different?
Accustomed to be normal here. I'm talking about people that specifically come over to try and implement their ways on a country that...
So do you think that that's New York's new mayor?
Huh?
Are you saying that the new New Yorker mayor is Zoran?
Zoran.
Are you saying that's like some stuff that he's doing?
What, bringing over...
No, but just implementing like those types of ideas.
100%. I think New York
but
will
like
be
what
fucked
ideals,
in a
though?
year.
What ideals and what practices?
That's why I wasn't necessarily 100% ready to talk about this.
Okay.
But
Well, you brought it up.
We're looking for something to talk about.
Here's the thing: if you're talking about somebody of a different genre of people, whether it be culture, language, or whatever, religion, even, yes, there's supposed to be separation of church and state in America. You still see a lot of religious beliefs and practices bleed through a lot of different. Through a lot of different politicians within the system, most of that being Christian-based, as most of America is Christian-based anyways. It's hard to completely separate that, because inherently those are the exact values that influence a person's beliefs or actions. So when you have these people in these positions of power, in one way or another, maybe it's not a direct I'm doing this because I'm a Christian, maybe that they support a certain bill because it's more towards what they believe as a person versus what the country might believe as a population. So you still have some bleed through there. But if you're talking about, like, for example, Zoran, like, he is, if I'm not mistaken, was he Jewish? What is he? Muslim. He has Muslim values. Whether he was born here or he was born elsewhere, those are the same values that exist the same here as they do over wherever those values originate from. And the thing is, those values are welcome here according to the Constitution. So
Yes, you can practice them privately, but we don't want them.
but Zoram is not necessarily, he's not saying that you're required to be Muslim or you're required to follow Muslim customs.
If you're in his state,
I'm
you're required to follow whatever he changes things to be.
okay, so then if that's your point, what Muslim values / Muslim or
women have zero rights.
what, name the bill in the article?
In Muslim values,
Name the bill in the article that Zoram endorsed and has passed in his state for you
he
as
just
a New
became
York.
mayor. He
as
wouldn't
for
be
you as,
able to do it yet.
So what's your argument?
I said give it a year and a half.
So if
My
you're not-
argument is
okay. So if
It's
we're
more
not talking about,
speculation.
so if it's not,
you have
if it's
every
not
right as a
Zoram,
U.S. citizen
mhm,
to practice whatever religion you want.
mhm,
Nobody's complaining about the fact that
you are.
there are Muslims that exist in America. I never once said that.
What'd you put on your story?
Bunch of Muslim hate, like very anti get them out of our country stuff.
You're
I don't believe
complaining
somebody
about
that can
Muslim
believe
power.
in what Muslims believe in and do the things that country just freely does to people have a position of power in a country where those things are not accepted at all.
We'll tell that to the Constitution. Separation of church and state. That boils down to your position in power
That's
as
if he
a representative of your
actually
state.
separates
As a
religion from what he is there to do.
Okay, I literally have just read 4 different news outlets. None of them talk about him trying to implement any sort of religious views whatsoever.
complete speculation. So take Zoram out of the picture.
Okay, but it
Give
also
me-
depends on the news outlets.
Okay, take
4 different ones. I'll go to a 5th one right now.
hold on, Zoram. Based on what your position is in this specific argument, what prior politician or person in power from another state or country has come to this country and implemented their country's specific religious practice and values into our existence here in the States under Constitution? Who's done that? Name the articles and the bills that they've implemented in whatever state or whatever sector of government that they've done it.
Off the dome, I can't.
What do you mean off the dome?
That's
you
a
can't?
very loaded question. Off the dome, I cannot.
You're giving a very loaded position to say that people from other
Correct,
countries.
but I also wasn't prepared to talk about this today. You didn't have a topic, he didn't have a topic, so I just threw
Well, you're
something
very
out.
passionate about it, so it makes sense that you would at least have an idea of something that has been done to support your argument. Whether it's a specific name or just a specific instance of something that has happened for you to be thinking this, or I have no reason to believe that this is of any substance beyond speculation.
I mean, it might be speculation.
The only thing that he has really went heavy on for any sort of like religion, if you want to call it that, is his take on anti-Semitism. He's like, we should boost funding anti-Semitism rhetoric
Mm-hmm.
to stop anti-Semitism. This is the 5th news article I just read, by the way. By NPR, The Independent, I read The Guardian,
By the nature
the
of the
BBC, CNN.
By the nature of the Constitution, when you talk about people in power or people that are elected in power or elected to power, you're talking about first of all, we live in a republic where obviously we elect people into power. Not every single person is going to be Muslim. There's not one state where every single person or the majority of the state is of another. If anything, it's going to be of Christians. And that's in any given state that you go to. Unless you go to like
Michigan.
another whole country,
Michigan.
you're not going to find a majority of a specific religion that's going to vote for that specific person to be in power. But I digress on that. Here's the thing. If we're talking about the substance of the Constitution and how people get elected into power, and we're talking about the separation of church and state, the first roadblock is that you're not going to have somebody of a completely separate country that has this agenda of implementing their culture and their values and XYZ and all of that and the above into American society under the law. You're not going to have, through an election, somebody that is standing for all of that or campaigning on that, you're not going to have somebody that gets elected for that. There's no state that's screaming, we want Muslim values. There's no state screaming, we want Jewish values. There's no state screaming, we want Indian values. There's no state that's screaming anything for other than basic civil liberties, basic government support, basic, economic, good standing. There's no state that's like, oh, we want to be this religion or this culture instead of what we've got going on. There's no state that exists like that right now. So that's the first block. The second block is, let's say somebody that does have these agendas is actually in the system, is actually in an election, and hides those agendas and campaigns on something completely different that serves what the public wants, gets into the position, and now that they're in the position, they're abusing their power by trying to implement the so-called agendas, that you're insinuating. Again, elections, we're in a republic, so everything is voted on. If he wants to implement something, it's got to be created as a bill, and you know where the bill goes. It goes to Congress. It goes to between the House and the Senate. It gets signed off by the president. There's lots of checks and balances before anything that one person wants becomes law for you as a civil citizen to follow. So there's no way that one person and one person alone can, not even 5 people, not even 10 people. There's no way that we're going to get to the point where the entire majority of either the House or the Senate or the Republicans or the Liberals would get into a position of power where all these people are suddenly from the Middle East. There's no way that's going to happen. And if it were to be happening, you would literally see it, and you would have substance to be like, well, look at the entire Republican Party, or look at the entire Liberal Party, or look at, XYZ, the state of California, or look at, there's no such instances that exist now for that to be such a concern of, I'm going to take this, you're welcome to have whatever opinion you want, but there's no such instance for there to be such passion behind these people from this country or that country or another country in general should be in power. Like, when we talk about the substance of what America is supposed to be, it's a safe haven. Safe haven is a questionable word right now, but it's a land that's welcoming to all people of all cultures, all colors, all religions, all practices, all beliefs, everything. And every single person, aside from the presidency, has a chance to achieve anything in this country. Unless they were born here, anything in this country besides presidency. And the Constitution accounts for all of those things. And that's why, love or hate America, America has one of the most well put together republics that there is in the entire world. Like, you've got communist countries here, you've got libertarian countries here, you've got all sorts of different governmental systems all over the country, all over the world. But when you look at all the differences and all the struggles and all the benefits, and America comes pretty much at the top of all those different countries because of how the republic is set up. So for an instance like what your argument is based on, to actually be brought to reality and brought to fruition for somebody to have that much power, it's not going to happen. Just read the Constitution. No one person is going to have that much power to do any such thing.
And just to go off that, I hear you, and I agree with you. America should stay free, and people should be able to practice and do what they want, and they shouldn't have to enforce it on other people. But with the instance in Times Square with people protesting, and according to the news article I just read, people were sitting there, and a lot of people, Muslim people, were doing their prayer. They call it a synagogue, or I don't know their term for it, but you can't stop them from having a religious act in the street, because it's the same as if you and me were to get a couple hundred people going to Centennial Park in Atlanta and be like, we're just hosting a huge prayer circle right now. It's the same thing.
Maybe I am racist.
I
That
was
shit's
just saying,
that shit's gotta go.
There's a lot of fear mongering on social media. We
There
talked
is.
about it.
100%. That's what my entire story is on Instagram right now.
But
Yeah, but they gotta go.
They
gotta go.
Earns a little bit more research.
I don't care. They gotta go.
Okay.
We should take up arms and take them out. Okay, not actually that. I wouldn't actually do that.
Okay.
Yeah. So
That was a
there's
joke.
People that actually would, and that's the problem.
Well, it's just like, the whole Trump thing and rioting the Capitol. He never said to riot the Capitol. I'm not saying to take arms against the Muslims.
Maybe that should be our next topic. January 19th.
Was it the 19th? I thought it was the 16th.
It was the 19th.
I thought it was January 6th.
January 6th, sorry. January 6th, yeah. January 6th. Maybe that should be our next topic.
Yeah, that really happened, didn't it?
It really did.
That really
Yeah,
happened.
the Simpsons called it.
What are your thoughts on January 6th, JJ?
What about it?
I mean, you just spewed just 2 comments there just now, so I think you have an opinion on it. What do you think of it? What happened? In your eyes, what happened and why?
I think people are a bunch of idiots, and them storming the Capitol was really fucking dumb. But I also don't technically think Trump incited that because he literally didn't tell them to go do it. I think it's just a bunch of idiots that took what he said and said, all right, well, fuck it. Let's go storm the Capitol.
That happened when I really didn't care at all
I
on
don't
politics.
know many details about it.
Yeah.
It's not that I didn't care about politics. I just wasn't paying attention around that time frame.
Like, I literally voted one way because my ex said that she would be really mad at me if I didn't.
Let me ask you.
Literally no prior research done. I said, okay.
Say it again. I was reading something. Say that part.
Oh, I said that happened during a time when I really didn't care for anything political because I didn't want to hurt anyone's feelings. And because of that, I opted to never take a side at all. And I voted one way because my girlfriend at the time told me that she would be very upset with me if I didn't.
Yo, he's a Trump supporter. So, I have a very direct opinion on January 6th.
I don't know enough about
You liked it, huh?
He was there. What you mean?
Of course. Before I get into that, did Trump win the 2020 election?
Bro, you gotta have to talk into the mic. We can't hear you.
Did Trump lose his last election?
His last election, yes.
Uh-huh. Okay. Did he lose his last election, Derek?
I'm confused.
His last election that he ran for president, not the one that not the one where he's serving his current term, but the one prior.
Wouldn't that be the last election though?
Excuse me. The 2020 elections. Did he win or lose the 2020 election?
He lost.
Like, he wasn't president, so he lost.
Okay.
They say he lost.
Here we go.
Oh, I see what you're trying to reach for. Like, oh no, he won. It was rigged.
I didn't say he won.
Well,
he
not
lost.
that. Well, not that. There's an entire population, a majority of, seemingly, I don't know the actual statistics, but seemingly a majority of Republicans that are Trump supporters from head to toe. None of them, including Trump himself, will admit the fact that he did not win the election. You ask him a direct question, and it's always a deflection of, it was rigged, or it was this, or it was that, when the reality of it is, were you president for that term, yes or no?
I answered your question.
You did.
I still have my theories that there were definitely altercations with the ballots on both parties.
Mm-hmm. So, did he lose or win?
I just said he lost.
Okay. So that's a fact. Whatever happened, happened. We can't go back and change what did or what didn't. He didn't serve the term. But that's something that a lot of Republicans... And we have to start there because this builds up into the reason why there was a riot at the Capitol. So...
Can I interject real quick?
Uh-huh.
I have nothing to add to this topic because I only saw the highlights.
Okay.
I only saw
And
The Simpsons.
So does he. So
I mean-
this will just be you if you just want to talk about it. But I have literally nothing to add.
I mean, it boils down to sensibility and just plain wrong
I
versus
think it's more
right.
the people's fault than Trump's
So, well, I disagree with that opinion because the thing is, beyond what the people did, yes, there are going to be. I mean, think about the population of the entire United States. There is millions and, I'm not gonna say trillions. That's not true, but there's so many millions of different people that live in the U.S.
fault.
and you are bound to have people on the very bottom ends of sensibility and the ones that are oversensible. On the spectrum of who got sense and who don't, you're gonna have everything from bottom to top and everything in between. You as a president, as a sole person and the sole chief and commander of the entire country, should as a person, I mean, even though we're the ones that voted for him, I said we, I didn't vote for him. You as the chief commander of the country should not be somebody that is, and call it a personal opinion, but I think in general you should not be somebody that's conflict seeking, or you should be somebody that's level-headed, able to see between the lines of right and wrong, able to admit wrongs, able to admit rights, and fall behind what serves the people and not yourself or your party. Trump is somebody that does not abide by any of those. A lot of the things that he stands behind or is very vocal about are self-serving or party serving. And within his party, those party, if they don't serve him, he doesn't serve them. He completely turns against them. Take, for example, the recent betrayal of his relationship between him and Marjorie, the complete 180 that he did with Marjorie Taylor Greene in the Republican Senate just recently, where she had always been a Trumpy two shoes, like Trump is everything, Trump is right, Trump is this, Trump is all kind of thing. Like, she has been one of his most vocal and visible supporters in the Senate, where he literally brings up her name on every other occasion, in every other interview, whenever they're talking about major Republican politicians or whatever. Up until recently, when we're talking about the whole Epstein files and all of that, she has sided with the victims in releasing the files, whereas Trump has the opposing opinion of not releasing the files. And as such, that the media definitely blew it up more than it really needed to be. But
just sorry, quick interjection. Apparently, him with the Epstein files, and he had gay sex with Bill Clinton.
Yeah.
What was that about?
Apparently, it is so sad that I actually have a screenshot of that excerpt from the files, where it's alluded that Epstein has photos of, or who is it? I forget who has the photos, but there's a conversation where Epstein and some other higher power individual is talking about having dirt on, Donnie Trump. And the dirt is that Bill Clinton got head from Donald Trump. And there's supposedly photos of it.
Okay, but to be fair, not denying nor confirming anything that's been seen or read and anything that's been released from the Epstein files.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, it's just like anything that gets released on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
How is there a 100% way to fact check that said thing? Or is that just kind of until it's...
These are excerpts of actual conversations that actually occurred,
Right, but what I'm saying is, especially with AI and very good
those are not. These came directly from the Epstein estate. There's files that the actual FBI has, and those have a lot of redacted names, mostly Trump, from a lot of excerpts in the files to basically unimplicate the president in anything possible. So you have this one entity.
But how do you know it's his name if it's redacted?
Well, it's context clues. I mean, if you read the files, literally context clues.
Okay, I haven't read them, so
But again, just like you said, how do you know? How can you verify? Well, while the whole argument of releasing the files, everybody, the whole public is pushing for the FBI to release the files. You've got names being redacted, you've got files being redacted, and with all of that happening within the government, the Epstein estate, separate from the government, are the ones that actually released the files.
And here I'm reading. Mark Epstein said in a statement sent to Newsweek, this is where I'm reading it from, in quote, recently emails from 2018 between my brother, Jeffrey, and me were made public. They were simply part of a humorous private exchange between two brothers and were never meant for public release or to be interpreted as serious marks. Close quote.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, who's to even say that
It's not true.
Because, yeah, he could just be lying, but at the same time, like, there's no way to verify that.
There's no way to verify the substance of what they're talking about without the actual photos. So what is being said is...
But at the same time, there's no way to verify those photos are real either.
Oh my god.
Genuinely, though.
Yes,
I'm not
there is.
trying to defend anything. What I'm saying
Yes, there is, because there's such a thing called metadata, and when you read into the metadata of a digital file, you can tell exactly when it was created, where it was created, all of those things.
When it was edited.
Right.
When it was edited, where it was shared to, all of those things are attached to the metadata of a photo. And if you've got an FBI case where, photos and contacts and all those things are being verified, yes, you can actually verify those things. If it's an AI photo, it's 100% verifiable as AI. If it's a real photo, it's 100% verifiable as a real photo. So the only thing stopping us from knowing whether that's an actual occurrence or it was just two brothers just yapping to yap or just making fun or whatever is the photos. Until
if
those
the photos even exist.
If those photos are real and if they come to light, they can be verified as either real or fake. And if they're real...
But that's what I'm saying. Okay, so without the photos, though, it's kind of just... Could be real, could be not.
So
just like any other documentation
we're blurring the two differences of what's real and what's not. The files themselves are real. The conversations themselves are real.
I understand that.
You're saying the substance of the conversations, that's where I'm telling you, we don't know that that's real or not real until the
That's what I
photos
just
come out,
asked.
if that's even a thing.
That's what I'm saying. So
Yeah,
even
so
though
then-
it's in the files,
Mm-hmm.
there's a chance that...
No, 100%. There's a chance that it's not a real thing. And that's why I was agreeing with you. Like, the only thing separating us from knowing whether that's a true statement or a true conversation or not is that, do these photos exist? If they do, where are they? Are they going to come to light? And are we going to be able to verify it? Because right now we've got a first-person verification of this was a conversation that happened. That's it. Anyways, reeling it all the way back to the separation between Marjorie Taylor Greene and Trump. You have a lot of people that, you talk about Trump, he's a self-serving president and a party-serving president where if neither serving him, he does not serve it and literally excommunicates. So him having Marjorie Taylor Greene as one of his biggest endorsers and all these things, blah blah blah, would always talk about her in all these positive ways. She's smart and this and that and all. But now all of a sudden that the Epstein files have become a thing and she has an opposing opinion, his entire view and relationship with her has soured. And you'll hear him saying, I never knew her, she's the dumbest this, she's that, she's, he paints her in the most absolute ridiculous light as if he wasn't 30 days ago just, hyping her up as one of his, greatest and best, people on the Republican Party. This is what a president should not be. Well, dial it even further back to January 6th. We're talking about a country, like I said, you've got people on the bottom end of the spectrum that don't got no sense, and you got people that are, on the complete opposite end of the spectrum that do have some sense. As a president, you cannot be a self-serving person, and you cannot be an extremist when it comes to any given situation. You have to, you as the person in between both parties, whether you're Republican or Democrat, should be able to de-escalate, should be able to find the middle ground, and should be able to bring peace, not to just your country but to the relations between your country and other countries and so on and so forth. You can't have an extremist in office saying one thing or the other, because then guess what? We talked about this a few episodes ago where influence is power. You have the ultimate influence over the people in your country, especially if you were voted to be there in that specific position. You were voted to be in the office as president of the United States, and you're going to be spewing out things online that are going to just add to the fire of people that don't want you to leave that position. Ridiculous. Absolutely not. You were supposed to be the one that says, hey, you're supposed to, as a president, every single president that the country has had, whether they won or lost, especially when they lost, they seceded power. And Trump is the only one that has never done that. Even till now, he will not admit that he lost that 2020 election. And because of his extremism in that topic, and because of his rhetoric in that topic, it created a influential whirlwind of people who are already crazy, already had these fires going of, we don't want you to go because the Democrats are this, or because their election was rigged, or because we don't want that other person, or whatever it is. You already have these crazy people that are so vindictive in what they already think and believe. Now you've got the person at the very top of the chain saying and adding things to that fire and making it become absolutely rampant. And then that's what you saw on January 6th, when all those people, I mean, they didn't come from, random, you didn't just come from anywhere. Like, there wasn't like this huge group of, I'm the leader of this huge Republican Party group where we're just going to just go storm the Capitol this day. These are already people that already existed and already had these, this rhetoric going in their minds, and they're so extremist in the sense. Now you've got the guy at the top of the chain saying, "Hey, not gonna stand for this, fight, blah blah blah, yada yada yada." Sends out this tweet, and after the tweet, his last tweet was sent out, which I was actually just trying to look it up, but too many things to scroll through. After the tweet gets sent out, then the Capitol gets stormed, and instead of calling for a cease to the actual riot, he sat in that Oval Office and watched it on TV, as opposed to trying to find resolute, trying to de-escalate, or any such thing. For someone in power at the top of the chain to sit and not only incite that, but also allow the circumstances of what that came from that, absolutely no. Completely wrong. And then after this riot, mind you, officers died. Officers protecting those politicians, both Republican and Democrats, died in that whole riot. Those people that serve the country that's supposed to serve them in return died for what? Rhetoric and nonsense. Because one man would not secede to his loss, whether it was rigged or not. Take it further to his next presidency, where he is elected again. This is his current presidency, he pardoned every last one of those people that were prosecuted. Every last one of those people that were prosecuted and jailed for what they did on January 6th. And he deemed them as quote unquote heroes. Those same people that murdered officers protecting the country, murdered officers protecting the politicians, both Democrat and Republican. He pardoned every last one of them, set them free on the streets of America, and deemed them as heroes. You even had multiple of those same quote unquote heroes that he pardoned come forth and say, like, with my time in jail, XYZ, I've had time to reflect or whatever, and I've come to change my mind on why we did what we did, and that did not make sense, and it was completely wrong, and I completely regret it. I did not want to be pardoned, kind of thing. You've had multiple of those people come forth and say that it was completely wrong, and we deserve to have, received the punishment that we received. So it's not like it's just a wall of we're not seeing what he's seeing kind of thing. It's a simple fact of what's right and what's wrong, and he was completely wrong for what he did. He was completely wrong for what he elicited, and he was completely wrong for what he allowed. And then to put the cherry on top of that entire cake of pardoning everyone and saying that they're all heroes is complete and utter bullshit, nonsense. A few of those same people ended up reoffending and going straight back to jail within weeks of being released. You have one that actually died from, a traffic stop. He was something, I think it was somewhere he was heading in Texas or something like that. He got pulled over for elusive driving or something stupid. The cop comes up and, asks for identification, blah, blah, blah. He refuses to cooperate with the police officer. Within a few seconds, the whole altercation escalates. The guy pulls a gun on the cop, and he is shot. The cop isn't shot. The driver of the car, this hero that was pardoned, pulls a gun on the cop. The cop pulls before him and shoots, and he dies on the scene. The so-called heroes. The crazies, the bottom of that nonsense spectrum that I was mentioning earlier. So when you have somebody in power that is at the top of the chain, that's supposed to lead the entire country, you shouldn't be somebody that's extremist in one way or another. You shouldn't be somebody that's self-serving or party-serving. You should be somebody that can agree with your party and also disagree with your party, agree with the other party and also disagree with the other party, but also have a middle ground to say, this is what's right and this is what's wrong. Trump does not have that. And that's why, honestly, I'm not going to say I'm a Democrat or Republican or either,
I think both candidates kind of sucked.
I think both candidates suck in their own ways, but there's a more evil of the evil in general. And to have somebody that doesn't even have those basic values of being a mediator or being able to accept, something that doesn't serve you, or being able to find a middle ground between, someone that doesn't hold the same position or same beliefs as you and somebody that does, you should not be in a place of, I'm going to lead the entire country. That's how you have dictatorships. That's how you have Hitlers. That's how you have Putins. And that's not what America is. And that's not what it's supposed to be, at least. Mind you, the Republican Party has the entire Senate, the entire House, and they've got the legislative, executive, and the Congress. They've got the majority in every part of government. So anything that they want to pass can literally pass. And everybody from the bottom of the chain of command all the way up to him serves him, including himself. That's scary, and that should bother you as an American. Because then that means that your voice, what you want, or what you seek, whether it's for you or your family or your community neighboring you, it really doesn't matter if he wants something else. And that's not what America should be. January 6th was bullshit. Completely wrong. What? Oh, there you go. That.
Well, I think that's a good place to wrap up on.
Thank you for joining us for the Romaine podcast.
Listen and talk about trains.
They're still relevant. Anyway, guys, thank you guys for watching today's episode. Stay tuned for next week's.
It's funny because most of the talking happened not on the camera.
Yeah. Anyways.
Oh well.
Again, I'm Derek.
I'm JJ.
Camera.
Yep.
And that's going to do it. Like, comment, subscribe. Leave your ideas in the comments. We were just too tired to do the bucket thing this time. It's been a long week. It's only Tuesday.
All right. Catch you guys next week.